On March 25, 1975, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia experienced one of the most shocking moments in its history. A respected king, admired across the Arab and Islamic world, was suddenly killed inside his own palace. The victim was King Faisal, and the assassin was his own nephew, Prince Faisal bin Musaid al Saud. The event stunned the world and left millions asking a single question: why did it happen? To understand the tragedy, we must first understand the man at its center. King Faisal was born in 1906 and grew up during a time when modern Saudi Arabia did not yet exist. He was the son of Abdulaziz ibn Saud, the founder of the Saudi state. From a young age, Faisal became involved in diplomacy and government affairs. He represented his country abroad and earned a reputation as a disciplined and intelligent leader. Over the years, he became one of the most influential figures in the Middle East. When he became king in 1964, Saudi Arabia faced many challenges. The nation was rich in oil, but much of its infrastructure remained underdeveloped. Faisal believed that Saudi Arabia needed modernization while preserving its Islamic identity. Under his leadership, schools expanded, roads were built, government institutions became stronger, and the country's international influence increased. King Faisal was especially known for his role during the 1973 oil crisis. Following the Arab-Israeli conflict, he supported an oil embargo against countries that backed Israel. This decision demonstrated the power of oil-producing nations and made Faisal one of the most recognized leaders in the world. Many people across the Arab and Muslim world admired him for standing firmly by his principles. Yet despite his popularity, tensions existed within parts of Saudi society and even within the royal family. One issue that created controversy was the introduction of television. Today, television seems ordinary, but during the 1960s, some conservatives opposed it. They feared it would bring foreign influences into Saudi society. One of the people associated with protests against television was Prince Khalid bin Musaid, the brother of the man who would later assassinate King Faisal. During a confrontation with security forces in 1966, Prince Khalid was killed. Some historians and researchers have suggested that this incident may have influenced Prince Faisal bin Musaid years later, although the exact motive has never been fully established. As the years passed, Prince Faisal bin Musaid studied abroad and spent time in the United States. Reports later described him as having a complicated personal life and a history that generated concern among some observers. However, no one could have predicted the dramatic events that would unfold in 1975. The morning of March 25, 1975, began like many others in Riyadh. King Faisal was receiving visitors in a traditional gathering known as a majlis. During these meetings, citizens, officials, and foreign guests could meet the king and present requests or greetings. It was a long-standing tradition in Saudi Arabia and reflected the king's accessibility to his people. Among those present that day was Prince Faisal bin Musaid. As guests entered the room, nothing appeared unusual. The prince approached the king. According to accounts of the event, King Faisal recognized his nephew and moved toward him in a customary greeting. It was a normal family interaction, one that likely seemed entirely harmless at the time. Then, in a matter of seconds, everything changed. The prince suddenly drew a handgun and fired at close range. Chaos erupted inside the palace. Guards rushed toward the attacker while officials and visitors reacted in shock. The king collapsed after being struck by the gunfire. What had begun as a routine royal gathering had become a national tragedy. Medical personnel responded immediately. King Faisal was transported to a hospital in Riyadh. Doctors worked desperately to save him. They attempted emergency treatment and fought to keep him alive. Despite their efforts, the injuries were too severe. Later that day, King Faisal was pronounced dead. He was 69 years old. News of the assassination spread rapidly across Saudi Arabia and around the world. For many Saudis, the announcement was difficult to believe. Faisal had become a symbol of leadership, stability, and national progress. Across the Middle East, governments expressed condolences. Newspapers around the world reported the shocking event on their front pages. A leader who had played a major role in global politics was suddenly gone. Meanwhile, Saudi authorities quickly arrested Prince Faisal bin Musaid. Investigators began examining the circumstances of the assassination. One of the biggest questions was the motive. Why would a prince kill his own uncle, the king? Over the years, several theories emerged. Some observers believed the assassination was an act of revenge related to the death of the assassin's brother years earlier. Others suggested personal grievances or psychological factors may have played a role. Various rumors and conspiracy theories also appeared, but many lacked reliable evidence. Even today, historians continue to debate the exact reasons behind the attack. What remains clear is that no single explanation has been universally accepted. After the investigation, Prince Faisal bin Musaid was tried and convicted. He was later executed in June 1975 according to Saudi law. The case officially came to an end, but questions about motive continued for decades afterward. Following King Faisal's death, the Saudi royal family moved quickly to ensure stability. His half-brother, King Khalid, became the new king. The transition occurred peacefully, helping prevent uncertainty during a difficult moment in the nation's history. Although Faisal's reign ended abruptly, his legacy endured. Many Saudis remember him as a leader who balanced tradition with modernization. His efforts to improve education, strengthen government institutions, and increase Saudi Arabia's international influence left a lasting impact on the kingdom. His role in Arab and Islamic affairs also continues to be discussed by historians and political analysts today. More than 50 years later, the assassination of King Faisal remains one of the most significant events in Saudi history. It was not merely the death of a king. It was the sudden loss of a leader whose decisions shaped the future of a nation. The fact that the assassin was a close family member made the tragedy even more shocking. The event demonstrated how a few seconds can alter the course of history forever. On that March morning in Riyadh, a routine royal reception turned into a moment that would be remembered for generations. The palace halls that once echoed with greetings and conversation became the scene of a national tragedy. And while historians may continue debating the assassin's exact motive, one fact remains beyond dispute. The death of King Faisal changed Saudi Arabia forever.